Good morning and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. It is the 5th of April, the Friday, first Friday of the month of April, and we jump into the weekend with the promise of having warmer temperatures on the way, and that's good to know. And if you missed yesterday's program, about 11 minutes in, it might be some of the most entertaining things that you'll see this week. So, my apologies for my lack of professionalism having to walk off stage.
He had a coughing spell.
I just could not stop laughing and breathing. So, but it was quite fun, quite fun. All right, coming up here today, we'll try to avoid similar circumstances, but we do have plenty of things to share with you in the way of news, sports, as well as this date in history, which will take us way, 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 way back to what year?
1955.
Before I was born. Before you were born.
Before I was born, too. That's right.
And Aaron Glandon was just...
His parents weren't even born.
He wasn't even a figment of imagination, I guess.
And neither were his parents.
Correct. All right, so all that and more coming your way in just a moment. Who's Aaron Glandon? Oh, he's Mr. Hand. He's Mr. Hand, too.
He could have almost been Mr. Foot. It was closer than his hand.
Yeah, that's true. Can we see your foot on screen?
Let's see the foot. Captain Foot. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Whoa, that's like a close-up shot.
That was so close they could even smell it across the camera.
You're getting me started. Stop it. Let's start off as we normally do on a regular basis with what the forecast is doing for us.
Cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 45. Now, if you are into gardening or anything of that nature, listen up. A freeze warning is in effect tonight, as you can see on the map. Most everything below I-70 to the Ohio River and a few counties north of I-70. Freeze warning tonight, late tonight, and into tomorrow morning with an overnight low 28. Weather Service saying that flowers, things like that are starting to bloom, you got to cover them up or they'll die. Now tomorrow, we eventually are going to have sunshine and a high 51. 59 on Sunday, and if you're going out to watch the solar eclipse on Monday, might be a little cloudy, but they're talking about highs near 70. I like the 70 part.
Yeah, we can handle that. And I'm okay with the cloudy part, too.
You don't want to see the eclipse?
We're going to be in the shadow of it anyway. It's going to be dark. I'm just telling you.
Oh, that's not the fun part. I can see dark every night. It's that crossing the sun part that's supposed to be.
And now when it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be really dark.
Yeah.
So, I was watching a rendering of what it might look like from a map perspective. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at the map, and there's this big black dot, and it's just rolling across. And just giving you a perspective of who all's going to be in the shadow of this thing.
Right.
And so I'm looking at it yesterday evening with Amelia, my granddaughter, and she's like, "Wow,
how about that?
Isn't that cool? Wow!" and so I'm trying to explain to her what a solar eclipse is, and in her 5-year-old mind is just along the lines of, "It sounds good, Pop. Just can we watch something else right now?"
Next channel.
Yeah. Can we get back to the Aristocats? Yeah,
I think you had it right.
Yeah, got it right the first time. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll get up and running with news. That is on your way next. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you've got a dumpster that you are in need of, whether it be for your home or your business, Scioto Valley Dumpsters can fix you up. 740-253-8389 is the number to call. When you see this ad anywhere on our website, littermedia.com, it'll take you to their Facebook page where they have yet even more information about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389.
This is A.D. Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there.
I can't get the show to pop up on my phone.
Best coverage, the best coverage.
Under Litter Media. I don't know. I've been trying. It's not showing up on mine, so you may want to share it.
Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Week. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
At Raft Camp Financial, we believe in building relationships for the long term, guiding you through the stages of development of a plan and bringing you closer to reaching your financial dreams. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions.
This might go back to kind of like what I have, where I can't see who's watching sometimes.
I mean, I'm seeing stories that we.
It's 4 on.
We're back. Just trying to figure out what we're hearing something that, like we're still on now. There it is again. Maybe aliens are invading us, as in from outer space. Aliens. Yeah.
I liked what you said earlier on. They've landed. Just leave it at that. All right. Littermedia.com is where you can go to find news stories and things we're going to be talking about today. You can always find out more on what we have on our social media as well, here on Facebook, as well as Litter Media X, and our YouTube channel, which, by the way, there's plenty of interviews on there, things that we've done here on Facebook, but some that we have not done on Facebook that you can find out, such as a chat with Javon Mothmer that I had yesterday. We'll tell you more about that in sports coming up in a bit. Chillicothe Park Annex is closed until further notice due to the flooding. The Scioto River has gone over its banks and is spread out like it normally does. Thank the Lord we have the flood wall that was put in many years ago, or else we would be having different kinds of conversations this morning about floodwaters.
That's right. So if you had a softball game or something over there, don't go yet. Yeah. Wait for the water to recede.
Yeah, the sailors will be taking on the seagulls or whatever.
Yeah, the Seabees or something like that. A World War II Army veteran, the remains, this was in the news, had walked away from the VA back in the early 70s, I believe, and was later recovered. His remains were finally identified. That was in the news quite a bit here recently. But today's story is the obituary for this gentleman has finally come out, Ward Raymond Thomas. The ceremony will be held on April the 15th. He was a Purple Heart recipient back in the Philippines in World War II in 1945, but you can read the entire obituary. His the date that we mentioned is the 15th, but where that ceremony, and I believe from what Bob Leach told us a few weeks ago, it will be open to the public as they put him in the columbarium there. So special thoughts to any of his remaining family. A World War II hero finally getting his place of rest.
And of course, many folks like to show their respect.
Absolutely.
So it being open to the public, please do so. Ross County Recorder Kathy Dunn and the Ohio Recorders Association urges veterans to be aware of exploitative practices targeting military veterans who are being charged for services that are available for free, actually. There's a group called DD214 Direct, a company based out of Arizona, that's currently soliciting veterans here in Ohio to purchase a copy of their DD214 form for a fee ranging from $79 to $99. Now, the practice of doing that may be legal. However, Kathy Dunn and other county recorders across Ohio want to ensure that veterans are informed about this free service that they are entitled to. And this is something that you mentioned Bob Leach just a moment ago. He was on one of our programs talking about this about a year and a half ago, that this information is free. So if you are a veteran, you can go to the county recorder's office and get that information absolutely free. So
very good. Paint Valley Adam H. Executive Director Melanie Swisher and Hattie Tracy, CEO and President of Coleman Services, were our special edition guests yesterday morning, where they discussed the proposed construction of an $8 million 24-hour behavioral health crisis facility on East Main Street in Chillicothe.
So in 2019, 2021, we really started doing a deep dive on what type of crisis services
our community needed and how we can improve on what we already had. We had a consultant come and do a needs assessment, and it was determined that we needed the services that I'm going to let Hattie talk about. And then the state also was really focusing on crisis needs, so they had a grant application process that we went through, and we were awarded that funding to build this facility.
If you missed that live interview yesterday morning, you can get the full interview again on all of our social media sites at Litter Media.
Pickaway County Public Health is currently hosting the Target Car Seat Trade-In. And that's actually coming up a week from Sunday, April 14th, and going right through the 27th. You can call 740-477-9667 to schedule an appointment with their certified car seat technicians. And if you've ever had to put one of these in more than once, you're ready to take it out and throw it through a wall.
I remember you telling me about that a few years back, yeah. Well, the new data shows that the state's strengthened distracted driving law is making a positive impact on Ohio roadways. Cambridge Mobile Telematics reports that phone motion data analysis shows an 8.6% decrease in distracted driving crashes in the state of Ohio since the new law took effect. So what does that mean in actual numbers? Well, CMT estimates that this reduction has helped prevent 3,600 crashes, 2,000 injuries, 17 fatalities, and $144 million in economic damages since the effective date of the law. That's impressive.
So we're talking, what, since October?
Yes, almost a year.
That's incredible. 35th Annual Ross County Employment Expo is coming up May 8th from noon until 3 p.m. It'll be in the Shoemaker Center up at OU Chillicothe. It starts at noon until 3, is it 1?
Noon to 3.
Noon to 3 p.m.
But then?
And then noon to 1 p.m. is open for local high school seniors, an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what's happening there. Earlier this week, we had a chance to catch up with Michael Linton and Annette Linton. They are the owners of Koinonia Farm. It's a camp, and this is really their home. And we've done a feature on them before, so if you want to see that, that's available on YouTube, as well as this chat as well. But they're getting ready for what is called the Eagle Endurance Challenge. 24 elements of obstacles over a 3.8-mile course. We're talking muddy belly crawl, wall climb, monkey bars, rope climb, a Hercules pull where you pull a weight all the way up to the top 30 feet and then you lower it back down another 30 feet. They've got a tight rope that you'll walk across, but the rope that you're holding on is not as taut. And so you have to keep your balance. And this is something that Michael says they feel that you could do in about an hour and 45 minutes if you're a fit person.
Wow.
If you're a not so fit person like me, you'd be out in the first element probably. But this is something they're doing on May 18th, and he tells us really a little bit more about why they're doing this, but we'll explain to you in just a moment about Dave Eagle, who this is named after.
We're hoping that it's a great experience. The first May 18th is our first one, and we're going to dedicate the course to Dave Eagle. We're calling it the Eagle Endurance Challenge because it was really his dream to do it. His family will be there. We're going to dedicate the track, the course, and then have a run.
Dave Eagle was the man instrumental in coming up with this idea, and they had plotted all of these out. They had 90-some workers together at the camp here not long ago, putting on the finishing touches for all of these obstacles. Dave passed away due to a heart attack. He was working out, and he was a former PE teacher at Hilliard Schools, and this was all a dream of his, and Michael said, let's make it happen, and then just not long ago, he had passed away. Due to that heart attack. So
is this for all ages?
It's for all ages, yeah.
Okay.
And now the cool thing about this is the Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp that they started a couple of years back, and you and I had met with them about almost 3 years ago, talking about the idea and what they were building at the time. And so they've had several camps. They usually have, I think they have close to like 30 a year now. And so the cool thing is they have a lot of retreats with the kids, but it's not only kids. They've had Fellowship of Christian Athlete motocross camps. They've got a wrestling camp that they have. They've got a teen camp that's coming up in June for football teams. And a lot of them have these challenges. So they started creating this obstacle course, and then they thought about really giving it this, like a muddy, very challenging course. And then when Dave Eagle passed, they thought, let's go on with the idea, and we're going to name it after Dave Eagle. So it's the Eagle Endurance Challenge, and it's coming your way May 18th. Now, it's $50 to register, and if you do that before May 4th, you get a t-shirt as well. Details on how to do all that is available on our Facebook page. We'll also be having a news story on our littermedia.com, so you'll be able to find out more details there too.
Our road report today takes us to Jackson County. Work is set to begin April the 22nd for a resurfacing project on State Route 93 between Zane Oak Road and the Lawrence County line. At least one lane will be maintained for the duration of the project, which should be complete sometime later this summer. And that's your topics.
Sports is on the way in just a moment, but first I want to tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Thanks for throwing it to me right off the bat. It's like, okay, am I doing it? Yeah, heating, cooling, and plumbing. You know, one thing I've talked about in the past is their maintenance contract agreement that they have. And you can have them come out twice a year. And usually they'll come out early in the spring to check our air conditioners. And then in the fall, it's the heating system that they're checking out. I tell you what, we have found out from experience that this really pays off, not only for the maintenance to keep something bad from happening, but if something does go wrong, you get a discount on the labor cost. It's worth the money. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor.
Find a career you love with Big Way Ross.
That's what you get thrown off the deep end. Oh, you.
Big Way Ross offers career training programs,
God.
instructors,
Come on,
and
McDonald's into
tactics
Adina.
to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
It's almost like there's a condenser mic.
That's kind of what I mean, there's not that capacity, is there, on that?
I don't think so.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not what these are. But none of them lit up. No.
I was looking for a first job. I
See,
had been babysitting and decided it was
kinda
something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great.
going through
I
those
wouldn't
headphones
ask for
over
a
there?
better crew or management team to work for.
It's not in.
Hello, hello,
When you speak.
hello, 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 hello.
Hello? Is this me again? How are you? Oh, yeah, the good folks who just joined us this week, and we certainly appreciate Adina Health. If you'd like to know more about Adina Health, for more information, it's as simple as going to adina.org to find out about the healthcare providers and the full range of services they offer. Adina Health. I guess this is where we do sports.
And if you click on that ad, it'll take you to adina.org to find out more about their services.
Cold, wet weather greeted athletes. I think there was about a dozen schools each for the boys and girls at the R.L. Davison Track and Field invite out at Southeastern High School last night. And if we get the graphic, Mr. Producer, you'll see how things went. This was the boys' meet. Zane Trace wins it with 116 points. A distant second was White Oak at 67 points. Now on the girls' side, it was McLean's Lady Tigers who win with 161 points. And again, a distant second was Adina with 76 points. For those of you who maybe are new to the community or young, R.L. Davison, his nickname was Slick. He was a fixture in the southeastern school community for decades. He was helping out when I was running track in high school. And just a great individual, and they named that after him many years ago. So that's always a big event. It's the only problem is when you have a night like last night, it's like, why are we here? Because it had to be freezing, and it was very, very wet.
Because it was slick.
Indeed it was. High school baseball and softball, very minimal last night for the baseball. And of course, when you find out where these two games were played, you'll know how they got played. It was at VA Memorial Stadium with the artificial surface. Clinton Massey shut out Miami Trace. McLean over Southeastern. That was only the Panthers' second loss of the year. Now, Teays Valley, they had a different story. They won, but those games are being played in Florida. And I think Lancaster is playing in Myrtle Beach. So they had some nice weather to deal with. Also last night in boys high school volleyball, we previewed this yesterday. Chillicothe was a winner over Unioto in 4 sets. Mercer Cutright, I had a chance to see Mercer play a couple of times last year. This kid he's got some hops, and he can really crush the ball. He had 14 kills in their 3-1 win over Unioto last night. A basketball coaching change.
Logan has had a basketball coaching change, and that is Rich Bell has stepped down as the basketball coach, so we wish him well in what is going on there in his future. Now it's a matter if they got to go through the process of finding someone else and who's going to lead the Chieftains in the purple and white.
Thanks to Kevin Dunnigan, our good buddy, for helping us out. And you drew this to my attention yesterday, something in Huntington.
Sam Beeler reached out to me and said, hey, can you tell folks about this? Because we've got it coming up this weekend. We want to make sure that it's open to everyone. So that's the one question that keeps coming up. Huntington's Extra Point Club is hosting their mother and son dance. And then they throw in fun. So mother and son dance and fun.
Yeah.
Saturday from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Huntington Elementary School cafeteria. And let's be honest, for some of the sons, they may think that this is a little more fun for mom than it is for them. But come on, guys. We've got the father-daughter dances.
Right.
Why not have a mother-son dance, right? And this is all to help raise funds and everything for the football program at Huntington High School. But it's available for everyone, so everyone who wants to participate. So if you're at Adena, or if you're at St. Trace, or Unioto, wherever, you can come down and enjoy the fun at Huntington.
The Boston Marathon is a goal for many runners, including many in our area, to get to participate in. You got to have a certain time to even qualify.
Oh, it's Minkowitz.
Yeah. Well, with two kids out of Ohio Christian University, Drake Dickerson and Chet Minkowitz, they're going to represent OCU, and that, of course, is April the 15th. I think they call it Patriots Day. In fact, there was a movie made about the terrorist attack there a number of years ago. But they always have the marathon. The Boston Red Sox always have an afternoon game that day. But good luck to these fellows and anyone else from our area who's participating this year in the Boston Marathon.
Of course, New England Patriots after the Super Bowl, they were always like, that's really Patriots.
Yeah, right.
When you think about it. Guardians opened up a series with the Twins, picked up a win there 4-2, doubling up the Twinkies. How about that? And the Reds are back in action tonight as they host the New York Mets. And I believe this is one of those games that you're going to see on Apple TV. I think that's the case. Or you can go down and be a part of it there in person.
Yeah, sit out in the cold that we were just talking about. It's NCAA National Semifinal Weekend, and it starts tonight with the women's semifinals. NC State, South Carolina lead it off at 7, followed by UConn and Iowa. And then tomorrow, it's the men's semifinals, NC State, Purdue at 6 or just after 6, followed by Alabama and UConn.
And I can't remember who the NIT final is.
It was held last night, wasn't it?
Was it last night?
Indiana State lost to, on a last-second shot,
the team that beat Georgia.
Seton Hall. Seton Hall.
Okay.
I think it was 79, 77 or something like that.
But I did see that the kid from Ohio State battle was in the three-point contest they had and everything.
Yeah.
And he made it to the Final Four of the three-point contest, which is kind of cool. So, and the Columbus Blue Jackets were in action last night, and they fell to the New York Islanders 4-2. We don't have this for you to share on the show today, but visited yesterday with Javon Moffler, and that is a special edition for you available on our YouTube channel today. Javon was the GMAC Player of the Year, and then about a week later became a national champion.
Yeah.
As his team won it all in the NCCAA National Championship Tournament. So congratulations there. And Javon dropped a bomb on us during the show yesterday. He said, I have that 1 year of eligibility left, because I was going to ask him, where are you going to go? You going to follow your brother into the professional ranks? Because Brandon Moffler's been playing over in Europe this year. And he says, I've got a year to use yet. So he has entered the transfer portal, and where he will be, we don't know. But you got to think there's going to be interest from a D1 college and a kid who is the Player of the Year for his conference.
Well, Ohio State just lost a kid. Maybe the Buckeyes will pick him up.
That would be pretty awesome. Now, Brandon, I think it was his sophomore year, maybe, at Cedarville University. They played at Ohio State against the Buckeyes in one of the preseason matches, and a lot of folks thought that Brandon could have gone on and played Division I basketball, which he did eventually at Morehead State, using his extra year of eligibility. But the thing about Javon, I don't know. I think he could probably pull that off. So if you happen to be a part of the coaching staff at Ohio State with an availability for looking for a 1 year college kid, here's your guy.
Check this guy out.
Yes, you want to check out Javon Moffler. Go Cavs. All right. Coming up, this date in history as we go back to the pre-60s of the 1900s. Was it 1955?
1955.
Okay, so that's coming your way right after this.
Also, Litter Media Live brought to you by Litter Quality Propane. 92 years of serving propane users in Southern and Central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. Litter Quality Propane.
You didn't take your gas?
No, I haven't the last 2 days. I turn away when I get
on and off the track.
when I take my deep breath.
Racing to your local dealership today.
You take a deep breath and see what happens.
Transportation options.
Speaking to the microphone.
Call Ross County
1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, check.
Now I can hear it.
779
You speak in your
9652.
no damn.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
We haven't done anything different to the picture.
Coming out of classic brains and eggs. And I clicked the wrong keys.
Way to go.
Mouse slip.
Are you looking for a beer?
You know when you click and it actually
I've been there. People that made me fun of
Armed
me.
Forces Brewing Guide brings beer for patrons.
Control over restraint.
Freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing.
I can empathize with you, but I'm not going to show it.
Tasted so good.
Yeah, that never has popped.
That's
Usually we have a slide here for
I'll
our
get it
friends at
back.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center. It's being worked on even as we speak. Haynes Total Healthcare Center. If you visit HaynesHealth.com, you will see all the services that they're hosting and things that they do for you, whether it be chiropractic, whether it be physical therapy or nutrition, and then it just magically appears in front of us. They're celebrating their 50th year of taking care of you here in this community. Haynes Total Healthcare Center. This date in history.
1955. Sir Winston Churchill. Now this picture is
It's a younger version of
probably
it.
late 20s, early
I was
30s.
going to say, this looks like pre-World War II era.
The British leader who guided Great Britain and the Allies through the crisis of World War II retires as Prime Minister of Great Britain. In the first year of his administration, Britain stood alone against Nazi Germany, but Churchill promised his country and the world that Britain would never, never surrender. He rallied the British people to a resolute resistance and expertly orchestrated Franklin Roosevelt and Joseph Stalin into an alliance that eventually crushed the Axis. But Winston Churchill says, "I'm retired on this date in 1955.
I didn't watch the movie Churchill, but I know that, man, World War I was not a good thing for him. As far as popularity is concerned, he made some decisions that went the wrong way, and man, he just lost a lot of respect, I think. But they turned back to him in World War II, and that changed everything. And I think he, because of what he went through in World War I, was better equipped to handle what would happen later to his country.
But as politics does, when the war in Europe ended, he was fired again by the people in 1945. But then he's brought back in the early 50s. He makes a big speech in Independence, Missouri about the threat of the Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
And they bring him back as the prime minister. I think it was in 50 or 51, and then retired in 50. We were laughing about this. It was almost a year ago. He came out of a hotel room, and some lady says, "Mr. Churchill, you are drunk again." And he said, "Yes, ma'am, I am. But tomorrow I'll be sober, but you'll still be ugly." Winston, there's just some people that can get away with that. You and we'd probably...
I had not heard that story until around 1990. Oddly enough, we were in church at a revival. We had a revivalist, or an evangelist rather, called, Rex Bullock was his name. And I think his ministry was out of St. Louis, Missouri, in that area. And he had a great delivery. I mean, his whole orator, I'm lacking in the words of how to say it. And orator is not the word, orator is the word, but his whole presentation was dramatic but impactful. And the way he delivered that you just described was, he looked at her and says, "That may be true, but tomorrow morning I'll be sober and you'll still be ugly."
Churchill's mom was an American, so he theoretically could have had dual citizenship, but
and could have run for president,
and instead chose to
not when we were giving Roosevelt 12 years.
yeah. Instead, stayed a Brit, and probably the best thing for our world history at that particular time.
Yeah.
Never surrender.
We can look back and joke and things about all that because it's so far back now. But yeah. All right, as we make our way into next week, we will have a solar eclipse to think about. And Mr. Hand 2 is going to be in Indiana for that.
And exactly is he going to handle that? Is he going to record it for video prosperity or what?
We've devised a plan.
Or is he going to say, "Well, Mike, Dan, it's getting dark"?
We've discussed me getting a time lapse of not the eclipse because that would burn out a camera lens, but of just the area and the people that are watching, and you can see it get dark and then bright again. Doesn't that sound exciting, Mike?
I know that some of the networks are doing live coverage.
Well, and that's something we discussed, and we thought about doing something live. But then we thought, well, in order for you to do it the way we need it done, you'd have to take all this equipment with you and everything. So we decided, how about just put a video package together?
They must have these highfalutin networks. They have special lens covers because you'll see the actual deal.
Well, and it's probably not even their camera. They're probably touching into a feed that NASA's doing or whatever, because NASA's got billions of dollars to throw into special equipment for that, I suppose. Or you can go out and buy these 99-cent glasses and put them on and take your chances.
Which, again, I put mine on the other day, and I could see absolutely nothing.
You're not supposed to see.
Well, you're supposed to be able to look at the sun. And
true, but because of the radiance that it's putting off, you have to have that level of shield to be able to
Give me the Jeff
see that.
Mays scientific
I can't do
explanation.
that was
We used to do the rooftop remotes, and we would talk about weather, and Jeff Mays would give the fork, and it was hilarious how
Jeff Mays is a lifetime auto salesman, and he had the verbiage to go with it and could get you to buy anything.
Even in the weather, yeah.
Even it was even that. But he did say that his mom did date Joe Holbrook. So
Yeah. Well, you never know.
might have been some weather.
Weather in his blood, yeah.
We better wrap things up here before we go nuts. All right, that's it for the program for today. You can go back during the weekend, take a look at all the stuff we've done this week, and even go back further if you want to see what we've done. It's all available for your perusal right there on YouTube, here on our Facebook page, and more. And Mike will keep us up to date with high school sports throughout the weekend on Litter Media X, so make sure you do that. And then we'll all be in the dark together Monday afternoon. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching Litter Media Live.